Good afternoon, traders. It's Bill Baruch with Blue Line Futures, and this is the FX Rundown. Now, tomorrow you have the ECB policy decision at 6:45 a.m. Central Time. They're not expected to change policy, which really puts the emphasis on ECB President Mario Draghi's press conference at 7:30 a.m. Central Time. Now, what will he say? That they have been a little more downbeat on economic growth and the data that they've seen, as well as sentiment data. But will they hold that path? And more importantly, will they continue to look at potentially hiking rates after the summer of this year? I think that's what we're going to look most closely at. And if they hold that expectation of a rate hike later this year, you should see the euro respond higher. Now, we do get a dose of data earlier on with flash PMIs. This will also be crucial in not only how you analyze the meeting and Draghi's comments, but for the price action of the euro ahead of that and momentum into those comments. So again, the euro is going to be moving. We expect a lot of volatility, and tomorrow morning is going to be crucial. Right now, we're testing against support. We have major three-star support below the market. Today was a quiet session and it consolidated within yesterday's range. We are favorable for the euro. We think it is undervalued at this level, and we think we will find it higher. Now, the big level you want to see it get tested is 115.11. If it closes out above 115.11, we expect further buying to take it higher into 116 and potentially 117 if you get more positive fundamental news from Mario Draghi as well as those flash PMIs. Stay nimble. However, what you don't want to see is a close below 113.5. That would encourage further selling. So again, stay nimble. Moving on to the yen, last night the Bank of Japan met. Really a snoozer. They did lower their inflation target, which meant that they're going to stay ultra loose on policy. The yen responded lower. However, the yen has come back on the session with equity markets showing some signs of weakness. Remember, last night into the close, the equity market had moved higher, which favorable risk sentiment is not favorable for the yen. What you want to look for the yen going into tomorrow is that right about that 92 area, 92 to 92.5. It needs to get out above there to reinvigorate the tape. We are testing and holding first key support that we've had, but again, we need to get out above that 92 to 92.5 area to reinvigorate the tape. Otherwise, we're going to continue to consolidate. We think the US dollar is overvalued at this level, and that should bring support to the yen. But it's also going to be really important to see what the equity market does, and if those recent consolidation, recent gains that we've seen here, going back to last week, hold. If the S&P in the United States sells off, as well as you want to watch the Nikkei closely too. But if we see lower price action in equity markets, the yen should respond and trade higher. Now tonight we also have the jobs report coming out of Australia. The Aussie dollar held major three-star support. Sorry, this was actually a first key support level that we called very significant, not a three-star level, but it's held this level very crucially through today. The market has responded. Continuing to hold that level after the employment report should be able to bring some life back into what we have seen was as a really sharp rally over recent weeks on positive U.S. and China trade news. So again, with the Aussie dollar, it's going to be important to keep a pulse on U.S. and China trade rhetoric going into next week. But for the very near term, it's going to be this jobs report. Watch what comes out from there. Now, also holding ground today is the Canadian dollar. It hit major three-star support. That's the one I was thinking of. It held it right below 75. Despite a miss on retail sales. So the overall weakness in the US dollar and the crude oil today did not pull the Canadian dollar lower. We've seen the Canadian hold very well, as it has also had a very constructive couple of weeks. So and a lot driving that too is the U.S. and China trade rhetoric going into next week. So if we can continue to hold that support level, the U.S. dollar weakens, the Canadian as well as the Aussie could bring back a test to those recent swing highs. Watch that going into tomorrow. But really can't emphasize enough tomorrow there's flash PMIs out of Europe as well as Mario Draghi's press conference. Give us a call. We're here to help with anything on the board at 312-278-0500. You can email us info@bluelinefutures.com. You can check our website for updates, and you can sign up for a free trial of our research there. But remember, futures trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Thank you.